Alright, here we go. Now we're getting ready. Now, hold Alt and drag. And then widen this. And there we go. Alright, let's get right into it. Okay. Oh, and I almost forgot my headsets. I gotta get headsets, of course. And that's how I set up my live stream. I know a lot of people are like, I want it like you. Don't like it like me. Like, yeah, I might try to have some example of what a good or somewhat decent live stream should be. But you gotta come up with your own example. Like, when I tried to come up with my own example, I knew I wanted to have, like, a recording studio set up with MIDI controllers, acoustic foam, a big condenser microphone right here, and just, like, RGB and everything, and gamer desk, gamer chair, that type of thing. Alright, enough about that. Let's continue where we left off. The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story. Where we last left off, we are in a pawn shop. And now we're talking to Jean Lestrade. Gentleman's accusation. Miss Lestrade. Oh, wait. Let me double check. Are we still... Yeah, you can still hear me. I'm double checking the live stream. Okay, fine. I just had to check in to see if the audio was up. Miss Lestrade is what the gentleman is saying. What do you think? It all lies, I did, obviously. I swear on my life, I never laid eyes on that dandy before. I would never have seen that Oscar Wilde anywhere in my life.
Us here now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? I take it you brought in here just now?
No, I swear to God. The only God. We live in a conservative country, don't we?
It was barely an hour ago. I walking along the street, minding my own business, as any random person would say, when this little gutterling ran into me. I knew at once what had happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets.
Yet again?
Oh yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by these backslum scoundrels. Look at me! I'm in white! Now then, relinquish my overcoat.
Grr.
Come along now, Mr. Stark and the good gentleman, let's go back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police.
Hold on now, why does everyone think it's me? There. Just look at that Danny Cove and you think I'm the douchey one?
I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Nope, not even me. Even if I wanted to.
Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that a stone's flopped in there? Come on, let's see it.
Oh, I have evidence, naturally. It's right up my sleeve, if you know what I mean.
What, you what? What evidence is that? Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman. Of course, we need only consult Mr. Winnimake's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant.
I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Oh. Why?
I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine.
Then you don't have you don't have evidence that's his, so it could go either way. But why not?
Well now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity.
Yes, I see. But then, how can you know if the article belongs to the person asking to redeem it?
Oh, it's quite simple.
How?
Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question?
Watchword. What?
Of course, it's... Professor! Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without doubt.
Watchword? Interesting. Wait, what? Watchwords? Is that like a password or something? So what about these watchwords, Mr. Winnymake?
As I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Why certain customers would like to keep the activities secret.
Frickin' Sholmes in the corner over there. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets. Not at all. Even if they're emo sometimes, that doesn't count.
Yes, well, not anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock the vault. The date of deposit, the description, and the watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the store ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword.
And if someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article?
That's right, sir. Yes. Just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already, but for the avoidance of doubt. The article in question is an overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on 15th February.
Interesting you say 2 months ago, because that's the date of the last trial with Soseki. So why... I don't know, is that a bit of a coincidence? Because it's also the date of the trial. The second trial that we took in Britain.
With the watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir.
But now...
Really, this is beyond a joke now. There's no further room for doubt. Please, don't make me glare at you with my eyes to the side. It hurts my eyes.
Okay, now what? What do we do? Is there anyone we can talk to? You? What do you have to say for yourself? Picture a postcard gentleman. Excuse me, but who are you?
One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though, clearly you're not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you.
Oh, sorry. Yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Because Japan was considered the Empire of Japan around the late 19th century. Yeah, it was the Empire. Japan was an empire back then.
Oh yes, I've heard talk of the place. Wait while I do a jiggy. Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup, dressed up with exotic spices.
You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about?
Perhaps, anyway, if you're a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first before inquiring the name of another.
Of course, yes. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer, well, a student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu.
I see. So desu ka. My name is Benedict. Yes, Eggert Benedict.
Is that a fake name?
Enchant.
Edgar Benedict. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but that name is suspicious. Edgar Benedict?
Now to the matter at hand. Yes, Jiggy. My overcoat! Return it at once! To someone with the style to carry it off. Someone with swagger.
Every move he makes, every breath he takes. I can't say I'm watching him. Every move he makes. What is this, Sting? Is this frickin' Sting? Did he actually give up the overcoat? She did actually give up the overcoat.
So, let there be an end to the matter. And thank you for your caution, Miss Eggert Benedict, sir.
Eggert Benedict. You're Eggert.
With such reasonable rate of interest, I may even decide to come back.
This is why grown-ups. Yeah. Just 'cause I'm a diver, Everyone thinks that makes me a liar. Just because it rhymes does not mean there's a connection. Okay, oops. I'm just looking up stuff. Alright, let me get this done.
And the contents of the cold pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, sir, here's a disc for you. Just this one? Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another.
Another disc?
Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. This happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gutterling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you?
Says who, eh? I don't know nothing about it.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to the style.
Wait a minute. That disc. It's mine!
What the?
But what do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal!
Oh my. Yes, there's blood on the disc. It's because of all the sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them.
I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me old man. So you're not having it. Oi, you take it.
Me?
If I hang on it, they'll have me up again. So you keep on to it.
Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her? Music box disc. Doing homework as watching. Metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. The piece of music which remains unidentified is stored on a disc of small protrusions.
You there, in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. I ask very nicely.
No! Don't! He's lying! Grown-ups are all liars! Don't forget to tell!
What do I do now? Do I give it up? Did I go straight into Towley territory right now? Yeah. Oh god, I went in straight into Towley territory. How am I going to resolve this? I don't know. Mr. Winemaker is clearly at a loss here. We have to do something about this before he reaches for the revolver of his. Sholmes? You were there before. You can help me out again. Mr. Sholmes? What are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. Is he depressed again? Is he emo again?
So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruto.
Sorry.
After that young pickpocket sent me on the way, I was forced to look into the shadows. Cruelly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see to what my downfall had done me.
What are you talking about?
So, feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets of this desolate place. Whilst, as you surely observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, the 7% solution of caramel. Oh, yes. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruto? But how could you? Yes, we are British society. British nobility is too subtle for your foreign interest. I was so lonely, so desperately lonely.
Then, why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know?
Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, or caramel, that is, my ears devoured every word of what was uttered.
You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes. I feel simply awful for you.
It would seem that my inferences are correct.
Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again?
My dear madame, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized? No much could I pawn it for? Really? Is that something you could ever pawn? It seems Mr. Shulman has had another flash of some inspiration. Is he gonna do his logic and reasoning spectacular in this here shop? But who knows if it'll help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Listen to the deduction. We're gonna do another logic and reasoning spectacular. Well, Miss Lestrade, over here you find yourself in something of a predicament.
Tisk! Where the blue blazes have you been, eh?
Pardon?
When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to help. Straight away! Not an hour later!
Even though it was a few minutes later, but okay. And down goes Sholmes again. Harsh. Yelled at him so hard he fell to the floor.
And who, pray tell, are you? I bet you can't yell at me too hard I can't fall on the floor.
Mr. Edgar Benedict. Yawn. Edgar Benedict. As in Eggs Benedict.
You have in my eyes a veritable encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. You're made of different colors. Nevertheless, there are two novel conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon?
The first is this.
The true reason for your visit to the pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. Oh, you hit me!
And the second is this.
A considerable crime
Crime is in contemplation. One you will orchestrate with the intent to steal a vast sum of money.
Well, Mr. Benedict,
What say you to my deductions?
how?
He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. Because that is literally his name! It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made us flawless deduction.
Just who do you think you are, sir? Who by the devil are you?
Ah, yes, as I hope. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. Are we gonna do the logic and reasoning spectacular? So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Edward Sholmes logic and reasoning spectacular. The great deduction. The game is afoot. Great, we're gonna do this. Mystery man's aim.
First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured on this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had their redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different.
Interesting, he's holding up a piece of paper with something on it.
As revealed by that which you're holding in your hand. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is a staff recruitment flyer.
No.
The piece of paper on your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant would realize that the man of your appearance has no need of such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions.
The ulterior motive?
The case in which you are unwittingly clutched your person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What? What utter rot! I've had this cane for years! The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule.
What?
The end of the walking would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there's only one conclusion. The rod which you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. What? You recall, sir? Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer to your next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently hold would like to conceal, is the key to understand the riddle. Okay, I feel like we're getting things mixed up. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking can command such a stout handle? Mused I. What? Is that... what? But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod. What the... is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime.
What? To tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery. Why? Great crime.
Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in planning. This is utterly absurd! You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there?
I thought in British terms it's a spade, a fine shovel, whichever.
Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose? Save for such fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is an ample reason. As you are well too aware, Mr. Benedict. Why did I say doctor? I don't know. Why is he looking to the left? Ah, your first glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what will motivate a man to infiltrate shops such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter which your eyes are inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank of the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the great vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you? In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of an underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us to the last of the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition. I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway. And the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank, on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating. Is the theft of which sits in the vault of that bank. This special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. Conceal the Great Exhibition's reserve funds. Obviously, we all know Sholmes is wrong, so we gotta help him out with this one. Let's conclude Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle.
Mr. Sholmes? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressively upbeat deduction for Detective Racked with Loneliness. Would you not agree? Was it true that, well, what you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed, though few know of its existence. It is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly in fact. Ah, and if it's such a big secret, how will Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be only but one explanation for that. Clearly it's because the man is a criminal. But if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault, if he is a criminal as you said, then buying a brand new shovel will surely be the first thing he does know that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windybank will. He already has plenty of shovels here after all. Oh my life, I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. Shh! Don't tell anyone!
One can never be sure that someone privy to the secrets won't disclose them. And once the word is out, it's out.
Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes.
An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea! Oh, I'm such a terrible person.
Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to the Great Deduction again, and see if we can massage it into shape.
Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. Of Electrom's magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. Ah, yes.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Topic 1, Mr. Marina's aims, a tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery.
So all must ask ourselves on what business you ventured to the pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having to have redemption ticket stolen for you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. Okay. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand, yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place, is the staff recruitment flyer.
It's not the staff recruitment flyer. So, by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job, so you could dig through the floor. Yes, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is where? What did Mr. Benedict bring here at this particular moment in time? Okay, Stylish hat. What the? Scribbled writing. Huh. That's interesting. It's on the other side of the flyer.
Oh! Look at all that scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here.
I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Jean Lestrade. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat. Grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness. There's even a sketch of a hat and all. Although if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke-ready launcher in his face for sure.
And look! The detail of the shop has been written down here too. Windy Bank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street. Redemption deadline, 15th April.
Which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of the piece of paper? Info about Miss Lestrade. He came to the pawnbrokery because he had information about Miss Lestrade meeting at the pawnbroker. So here! Interesting. Yes, what brought you to the shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. And I'm definitely gonna save it multiple times, knowing for a fact that I could fail and screw up at any time. so, my dear fellow? It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade, and to Mr. Winniebank's pawnbroker here. Ah! You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winniebank's pawnbrokery, and today, the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So, you waited outside for the young girl meshing the description you have written down to arrive. Oh, wait a minute. You've gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane which you unwittingly clutched to a person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. It's not the missing ferrule. It's the initials on the cane. It's a ferrule. It's a metal cap commonly found at the end of a cane, Mr. Nahado. And the bit makes the cane clacking sound on the pavement. Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing out on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, doesn't it? No, it doesn't, though the gentleman certainly didn't recall Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. Huh. The initialing. Look here, Mr. Sato. There's some letters on the handle. If that's really his cane, it would have said EB, but it says a G on there. Ah, yes, those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the finest letters of their names. So Sherlock Holmes will be HS, you mean? Or Sherlock Sholmes. That's right. And initials on the cane, obviously. Oh. AG. Why does it feel as though it's not quite right? The initials are off. So, here! Alright. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. A most astute observation, will you say, Mr. Eggert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet in the most possessive manner you have in your graphs a cane bearing the initials AG. An unculturable contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong! This cane isn't... You said before that you had that cane for years. Grr. So don't try to tell us you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Aye. And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer to your next conundrum to present itself. Did I hear something, Rip? Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle which you inadvertently like to conceal is the key to understanding the riddle. Let's consider the bare bones of what has happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat. And now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that it actually identified Miss Lestrade from the written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Huh. Now how do we do that? Ooh! Interesting. Split seam. Interesting that ripped. Oh, the seam on the shoulder there is coming apart. Look! So it is. Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something like that, it was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. But now I think it was probably the sound of the seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched out to bursting, and you wouldn't have hope of fastening it at the front. If you were to run it around, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart. Though, I'd like to see. Sorry. So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around? She's really giving this some thought. Aha! I'm thinking it's this, so the split seam. Because... Well, before I do this, the truth behind the cane is he's using it to shorten his pose or something like that. Boom. The key to understanding this riddle, because the coat actually doesn't fit him. The split seam which you inadvertently like to conceal is the key to understanding the riddle, you see. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lied about your name and so boldly laid this pickpocket. This catalogue of untruths has been for one of a specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Winniebank. Looks like I was yelled at, almost to fall to the ground. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. So it's not to tunnel, to abscond with the redeemed item. Great crime to steal the great exhibition's reserve funds. Is that really the case? Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to fill some tawdry article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one who deposited in the first place? How could I possibly have known the relevant details, n'est-ce pas? What, are you French? Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you were only too well aware, Miss Benedict. And your fortuitous glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword linked to the pawn property of another. The method is revealed by the council notice on the council which... It's not that. It must be a different list. The direction of the detection must change rather than dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers. Which is a pity, because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor. If you didn't know the word, Mr. Winniebank would have never allowed you to redeem the article. Or, looking at it another way, if you did know the word, Mr. Winniebank would allow you to redeem the article, whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? I'll look around. What the? Council notice. Not the council notice. Old lamp. This? Notalent. Look at this, Mr. Sato. It appears to be a memo that Mr. Winniebank has scribbled himself. Let's see. What does it say? Oh! Professor. Mr. Winniebank must take note of the watchwords his customers give him, right before their eyes. And an alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see? So it was a notelet, not the council notice. Here! Okay. The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes are inadvertently draw, because it's the only place he would have known the word professor, and then used that watchword anyways at a later time. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customers for the watchword and notes. The response is uttered on the notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question.
I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker.
But this diligence clearly has its disadvantages.
What are you talking about?
It is increasingly apparent that you were present in the shop before your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Wittymaker. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade.
Master plan?
Ah, dang it, 9 o'clock. You know what that means? Melatonin time. Alright. Yes, 9 o'clock. I gotta have these. So I can fall asleep and not miss a wink of sleep. Okay. Where was I? No. Chocolate flavored melatonin. Alright, where was I?
Which brings us to the last final chapter of the lurid sheen. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article for this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less the worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had a very good reason than yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells all we need to know. Alright, it's not the picture postcard. The article we're talking about the overcoat and the music box disc that was one in the pockets. Which, according to Mr. Wayback, isn't even worth a penny. And yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo. Really? Could we? Really? I'd better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far. The music disc itself? Huh. Review scene. Okay. This is the only piece of evidence of the music box. So... Huh. Look at all the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny. Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the comb to make notes. And just so on the edge, there's a small amount of blood. Yes, the blood of the mysterious Edgar Benedict. When Mr. Zod tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger. Ouch, just think about it hurts. It puts me off eating radish. I didn't know this was here. For McGilded. What? There's a little scrap of paper stuck to the reverse side of the disc. Look! I scribbled a word or two. It looks like somebody's name. McGilded. Why is McGilded's name on this disc? For McGilded. McGilded? It couldn't be! But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget, as long as I live! But why? Why is his name on this? Riverside notes for Mr. McGilded. So there is a connection. He said that he mentioned, like, Benedict mentioned something about 2 months ago on February 15th. And yet, that is the date that McGilded, or was it the date? No, that was the day that after McGilded died. But why was it for McGilded? But you know what? I'm just present this, so... Here! Yeah, I knew I'd have to look at it first. You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads, for McGilded. Mr. Magnus McGilded. The unfortunate philanthropist who perished in the curious circumstances in the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London. There was long mongering demonstrated a lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, aren't you? Or perhaps you're a subordinate. Mr. McGillicuddy was a man of unusually small stature, in fact. He was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into. Ugh. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Eggert Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today. Was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGillicuddy. Da! Well, almost got me there. So, not the reserve funds to acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGillicuddy. Huh. Interesting. Deduction completed. Elementary. I thought I was going to screw up a few times, but somehow I managed to pull that off. Oh well, Mr. Magnus McGillicuddy. Not a name I expected here in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Miss Susato. Well, according to what Mr. Winniebank told us earlier, today was the final day at which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? I am totally not up at 2 a.m. on a school night. Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited.
Well, today is 15th of April, so 2 months ago today.
Would have been 15th of February, sir. Oh, that's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see.
What? But that's just... Yes, 15th of February. It's precisely the day in which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening. Literally on the dot. It's precisely the time which the terrible events were unfolding.
Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence.
You were here to retrieve a disc from a person who died in a courtroom under an unusual circumstance. That brings to question why.
You're, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However, I jiggy. Oh! I must insist you hand over that music box disc now. I'm playing with the full roll.
Crap! Oh, he's got a...
It would be a terrible shame for you to return your native land in a box.
I'm late. That's fine. What do I do? Absolutely not. Is it possible that he's not playing? What if I say no? Is he gonna shoot me? Would he seriously risk himself? If a person holds a gun to you, what happens if I say no? No! There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may be well the things. Then again, it may not.
Hold it!
Mr. Winniebank.
This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life.
Mr. Winniebank, no. Alright, that's enough. Oh, Gregson. Inspector Gregson.
Inspector? That's right, sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines.
Old Luigi. Really? He's old Luigi?
We got here as fast as we could. Now what's this all about, eh? Don't make me lose my fish and chips, alright? Oh, please be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. Oh, God. Don't make me put this gun down. It would seem you have the upper hand, even though my hand can reach great heights and shoot at it.
And there goes the overcoat. Your fax even contains an... Oh, great.
Right, you lot have some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Well, I ate my fish and chips, I see.
Pretty? Mr. Winniebank very nearly met with his end.
Yeah, I'll buy his own gun as far as I can tell. Oh dear, oh, that was too close. I should have done it. Oh well. And the whole Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. Right. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Just don't tell anyone. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down the station. That's how we handle it. Well, I eat this fish and chips. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away! Get after him, lads. What's the beat, Officer 2? Whistle! Sir! Right. Don't make me run. I'm full of fish and chips. There's been a spat of thefts at pawn shops around there recently. So we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for workers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector. I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanent in Morning. Oh, yes? I'll be taking whatever it is off McGill down to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course.
No! Don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine, it is! That's mine!
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to Mr. Gillett has to be taken as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate.
Fashion disaster.
Oh, God. It's all yours, Inspector. Do it with who you will.
Grr.
So we don't have the disc anymore. It's a fashion disaster. And so we handed the Mr. McGill's disc over to Inspector Gregson. And we're summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. Oh, great. To be continued. To be or not to be. Or just to be! Alright. Okay, wow! Suzuku. What does it say in Japanese? Alright, we're on the second part. Cliffhanger? Maybe. 15th of April, Baker Street.
See? That's why, grown-ups. Because you all got fat double chins! All they do is feed all your pack of lies and take stuff away from you.
Oh, really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm?
What?
Oh my, surely you were given that.
Yeah, I did let me keep it after look daggers at him for long enough. He went through my pockets and then he said, "Go on then, have it!" before telling me to scarper. Throw me to the turf. Always pay off giving people a look like that, you ate them.
Oh god, I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day.
Ah, piss off! What I really want with that nice shiny disc, mine.
Why does the brain skip the second the? Wait, who? The brain? Like, what are you talking about? Like, Lestrade?
This one.
The music box disc. But Mr. Reunion makes it was practically worthless.
I think I'm going to have another hat bash. Give him a long-eyed stare. Make him stare harder. Give him a heart.
No. No! I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Winniebags again today.
Why not? That's not fair!
It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Winnibag.
But that disc is mine! I had to take it for his coat, and it was in the coat's pocket. It was mine. And there should be something else, you know. That's what the wrong corpse said, ain't it?
Yes, he did mention something about another girl, did he?
No!
Golem. What?
I break it.
No.
Well then,
Ah, shit.
that's mine too, whatever it is.
Oh, God. Now she's really pushing her luck. Technically, she belongs to the Push Your Luck Club.
Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. And now it's time to bid adieu.
Yeah! And that's all your fault, Shums! No shit, Shums!
So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? I believe we're having caviar on toast, if you please.
Eh? I hate caviar!
I should be delighted to cook, I'm sure. And I might entertain you with the most violent recital. Don't worry, it's my new violin. The old one was worthless.
Oh, God. What are you gonna say now?
Now, ta!
Oh.
Why would I come to your place today? Have you lost your head or something? I would pick you. I would rip you. I would nick you. Even if it's right behind me. Right to the right.
Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might have.
I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyways. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come.
Very well then. I'll inform Miss Cyrus to set a place for a potential guest at the dinner table this evening.
Don't count at it!
And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too.
Sorry.
I believe I'll have a rather splendid surprise to show you.
Oh, how exciting. What is it?
You shall have to wait and see, Mr. Sato, until later then. Because the developers told me so.
Oh, God. Alright. Oh, my God. This shit is getting weird. Oh, my God. I gotta save it at some point. I gotta save it and finish it up at 9:30 just so I can go to bed. Even though I've only barely gotten an hour in here. Alright, 50 minutes left. I've already had my melatonin and I'm gonna get ready to sleep. Oh man, did I make frickin' Lestrade sound really crazy or something? Can't go to the pawnbroker. Can't gain access while Scotland Yard investigating. Go to the suite.
Yeah.
15th of April, 3:46 p.m. Shawm Suite.
Ah, Susie and Bruno. Come on, come in.
Good afternoon, Iris. Konbanwa.
Thank you so much for our breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already.
Busy as always.
I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening.
Alrighty, you're obviously cooking something special, are you?
Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on, hee hee, you'll never guess.
I don't know, why do you have to hold a gun or blow dryer as a gun like that? Look at those little eyes of hers shining. Look at those heel eyes. Oh dear, it is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it?
It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting?
No.
Oh, what a surprise. Oh yes, that's wonderful news.
Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea.
I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. I want to get 99 thieving as well.
RuneScape joke! Oh yes, that does sound like fun. Picking and nicking everywhere.
I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you,
Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Shawm's up to? Being depressed again.
Really? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back.
Hello, Mr. Shawms. I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. What? What? I don't know how to respond to that. Why is he depressed again?
I do apologize when he gets like this. He's completely oblivious to everything.
Yes, I see.
Really? He behaves just like a child sometimes really does? Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they?
Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here.
Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Bruno? You have ever such a funny look on your face.
Oh, no, it's nothing.
I know what it is! Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Why, am I right?
How? How do you...
Oh, Bruno, I can read you like a book. You got letters on your face. Japanese letters on your face, and for some odd reason I can read Japanese letters.
This girl is dangerous.
Tired. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind.
No. Ginny. Alright. What time is it? 9:20. So by Ginny, you mean this was shot. The young woman from a Gilded Case 2 weeks ago. What is this? The Greatest Attorney. Basically, it's a Phoenix Wright game set in, like, Meiji era Japan, but it's, like, late 19th century. So it takes place both in Japan and Britain. But right now we're in the Britain part of the game, so... we're kinda doing cases. So for those of you who never heard of Phoenix Wright, it's basically this lawyer game where you play as a lawyer and you defend people. And hilarity ensues, court cases, finding contradiction, puzzles, blah blah blah, that sort of nonsense. Ugh. Yes? No? Also, let me double check something before I continue, because I want to make sure everything is fine. Oops. Let me make sure everything is in here. Is everything fine? Everything is fine. Okay, we're fine. Okay, we're good. We're alright. Okay, moving on. Okay.
Yes! Who else saw my experimental smoke grenade launcher? Although, after that trial, I invited her back here so we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, hee, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can.
Oh.
And I chase after her down the back alleys. I'll show her a thing or two with this blow-dry gun that'll kill people on the spot.
Interesting idea of friendship.
And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I developed.
Oh.
There's so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make the whole rainbow.
I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you?
Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now.
Poor Hurley.
Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been so long she'd like to keep over. I'm so excited.
I just hope she actually does come. Or does actually come. Living with Sholmes.
I'm sure you've been wondering, why is that I lived here with Hurley, haven't you?
Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents?
My mommy and daddy aren't with me anymore.
Are they dead?
Mommy passed away when I was born. And at around the same time, my father... Well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on.
Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley?
Yes, Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysteries cases together.
She didn't mention that before.
He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the middle chest.
I text you on this. Really? Let me double check. Okay, I see you. I see what's what. I see what's what. I'm gonna check and see what's what. What are you playing? The Great Ace Attorney. On PS4. That's what. Also, who friend requested me? Someone friend requested me. Banana Bola. There we go. Oh! Okay, back to the live stream. Alright, oops. Okay, we're good. Alright, we're fine.
wrote them all of his diaries. That's what's the metal chest over there.
Really? You record them all?
So, you mean it's true, Mr. Sholmes? Really did have a partner with whom he tackled most of his taxing cases. Oh yes. I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it?
So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father?
Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest. That only made me want to look even more. So I opened it up and found you.
And found your father's memoirs?
Yes. So I asked Hurley, who wrote these?
Have you seen Naruto in Fortnite? No. 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 Alright, do you say anything else on Discord? No? Okay, fine. Moving on. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Alright, what time is it? 9:25. I gotta hit the sack in a few minutes.
He nearly fell off his chair.
I'm gonna play more, but I don't play anymore, but I got it still.
But then he told me, that's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father.
So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. Uh-huh.
I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite a shock. When Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy, I mean...
It must have done.
I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose not to tell you, and at such a young age.
Yo, James, can we hop on if you want? What?
Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me.
Oh.
Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes.
Right. So you know about his secrets.
Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, actually.
I always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories.
Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he's solved the case, it all but vanishes from his mind.
Oh, I see.
The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone.
You can say that again.
You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right! Wilson. That is Dr. John H. Wilson.
Really? I have Bono. What? Bonu? What though? What? I honestly don't understand. Alright, moving on. Uh-huh.
I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what I promised me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well.
Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson.
The court will now hear the trial of Yunosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
Oh, God. So the victim in the first case was Iris's father. Oh my God. Oh God. I thought that was just two different people. Ugh. That's right, visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Humane University. And a man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Naruhodo just met him just before he lost his life. That was the very same person. Mr. Sato.
Yes.
Perhaps we should pursue this conversation shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time.
I think that would be for the best.
So the victim... Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you! Don't mind my emo self. That is just my alter ego at the door.
Mr. Sholmes!
Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Ha!
Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you?
We've been with you for most of the day.
Goodness, really?
Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed?
My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madame?
Oh,
Never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you.
We retrieved a violin for the pawnbroker!
Behold, my dear fellows!
oh, another music box disc?
No, not another disc, Mr. Stato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence, Mr. McGilda's disc.
Oh my! Then, what's it doing here?
You know, at times, Mr. Naruto, I think that I have an undeniable turn for detection. I may have a more adept at larceny.
You forged the disc? Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. Wait, what? Andrino could be a go-to low if we ever got caught.
Right.
Plus, Susie had such beautiful handwriting, she could write all of a menacing crime notifications.
Check this request. Oh, fine. I'm checking Discord. I meant to have Xbox New One, though.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Alright, let me double check everything. I'll join, fine. Alright, we're good, we're fine. We're getting in.
Yes, I'd be delighted.
I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. We still have the disc. But why? The music box, disc, and Magnus McGilda. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard.
Quite correct.
And that sort of uncompromising attitude
Is precisely why I always carry some of this.
That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken.
If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the
Disc. Oh god, what did I say?
I'll be taking that, what if it is, Mr. Dillon, down to the old, thank you very much. So hand it over.
Oh yes, of course.
If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector.
Wait, what?
For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not?
Yes, you did, but I still don't understand.
It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars. And this...
What? That's amazing! The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the He used 2 caramel bars next to each other and pressed the disc into them to make a protrude. So he still had the disc, but it was just from a mold he made out of a caramel bar.
Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of this precisely controlled solution.
How extraordinary!
Carrying a pair of these in one person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment.
Yes, it sounds illegal. This reminds me of a quest from Prince Alley Rescue from RuneScape. If anybody's ever done a bunch of RuneScape quests, you'll know some elements from RuneScape that are also in this game because it takes place in Great Britain. And of course, Jagex is a British company, which is why I like RuneScape. Something about British themes seem to seep into the game itself, and that's just what's interesting about it.
From the image, I was able to recreate this. I confess I was most curious to know what the manner of music would issue from the disc when I played.
Really? How? Do you have a music box yourself?
Do tell us, Mr. Sholmes. What music does it display?
Well, unfortunately, I have no idea.
No idea.
None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows?
No, I'm afraid not.
Goodness, you don't know, Mr. Bruno? Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past, making the different notes. The first music box to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it.
But we have a metal disc.
But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe.
Why, exactly?
Because the discs are easy to produce, and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result.
It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present.
But it is very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem.
What do you mean?
As you may imagine, the construction of one's phone music box does not match that of another. And we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable.
Ah, I see. So that's why...
Naturally, I tested the disc in these few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I'm presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe.
Every single one? That's really for you. Always taking things too far.
But my dear, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution.
But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it?
Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case... Ah, crap. I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room.
What? Why? So we still have a music box in our possession. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. But we're not given the music box, are we? Huh. Really? Okay. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. They got burned alive and in the omnibus. Mr. McGillard perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still now. I'm on GTS. I'm probably gonna get going as well, because I have to sleep in a bit. I'm gonna wait a few minutes when everybody's out. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Literally and figuratively. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilda's innocence on the trial,
Newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case.
really? The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. The evidence was tampered at some point because things were added after, and although Mr. McGilly was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not.
I laugh in the depths of hell,
says Mr. McGilly. Great. Alright. Let me just finish this up. I know I said I'd go at like 9:30, but I'll wait till after this.
It would appear the case is not yet closed.
Alright. Finish it up.
Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long.
Thank you, Iris.
Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do.
I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it?
Let this be a lesson, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right.
Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Winniebank said before.
Crazy.
He said that the manuscript of Iris is in pawn, didn't he?
Active stream. It is. Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of the otherworldly mystery lies dormant in the storeroom, where his birds, I believe.
So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was.
Oh, yes. The idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Winniebank's storeroom, gathering dust. My dear madame. Yo, Jeremiah Nichols want to play for what? Oh, God. Why? Let me double check. Seriously? No. Okay. Alright, fine. Alright, okay. I gotta finish this part up. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for what?
Most secure than a bank's vault.
Really?
And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was it as safe and secure?
Well, there may be an occasional mix-up. This is not a DM. Okay, fine. What do you call it? Caused by a certain impedance someone not too far from me now.
You have any idea how long it took for me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskerville Vales. I would love to read it.
It's a stream chat, obviously. Yeah. What? Ah! What? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Why did it feel like everything got so awkward all of a sudden? We all know. I don't know!
Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title?
I think I have an idea, and I think it might have something to do with that telegraph that Susato read.
Well, that's
because Mr. Sato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. Let me guess, it was never published.
But Bruno, the Hound of Baskervilles has never been published.
So how would she have known? What?
When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet.
I don't understand.
That's why he said to keep it safe. Until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see.
So that's why the manuscript is at Winniebank's.
And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on?
What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Ginny. Oh, God, there she is. Miss Lestrade.
This was a bad idea! I knew I weren't welcome! I'm going!
And there she goes. No, wait, Miss Lestrade. No, don't. We've all been eagerly waiting for your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Nobody wants to answer that question.
Oh, yes. Just wait here, Ginny. You'll have everything ready in a jiffy. And a loo. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Mr. Stride. Please make yourself at home. But please don't nick anything.
Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come on along in. What say you to some meddlesome? I won't take no for an answer.
Meddlesome is it then? Oh, there's Waka High. That evening, Iris prepared us a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violent performance was in no way meddlesome. Gina, as we came to call her, taught us about how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves, well into the night. should I stop here? Because I really want to go to bed right now. I really got to get ready for work tomorrow. I have work tomorrow. What is today? Today is Wednesday. The next day off I have is Saturday. So I'm working the next 2 days. And then I have Saturday off. And then I'm back in on Sunday. And then I got to get my schedule for next week. And usually the days I have off vary, so it changes every week. Alright, so you know what? I need to hit the sack. Because I am tired. I need to relax. I need to get ready for tomorrow. The melatonin's starting to kick in now. And I need to sleep. So I'd like to thank every single one of you for joining the live stream. I really appreciate it. Despite the fact that it's late. Even though maybe for some of you it's not even that late. But what the hell? I don't know. But in any case, I gotta work at this time of the night. I know some streamers would just stay up all night playing games and doing all those sorts of stuff. But I kind of keep it balanced out. So in the meantime, I gotta get going. I gotta relax. I need to sleep and get ready for work tomorrow. So I will say goodbye to everybody and see you all in the next live stream for tomorrow. Bye!